All right, welcome to the movie review. I forgot to press a button there, and join with me. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm the host, Ho Ho, and join with me is this guy over here.
Hey,
What's up?
everybody in internet land.
So we're broadcasting live from this place right here. It's fun. It's a good time. So yeah. So welcome everybody. Welcome Spreaker. Welcome Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Periscope, and Facebook. My order's kind of screwed up because I had to, because YouTube's been acting weird. I don't know why.
It has been.
Yeah, I don't get it. So, yes, tonight, ladies and gents, we're discussing a movie that we just got done watching, actually. Captain Marvel. And I tell you guys what, dude, it was the second time I watched it. First time you watched it?
First time for me, yeah.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was pretty impressed with it. I really was. There was a butt ton of humor in it. I mean, what was there not?
Yes, there was a lot of humor in it.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised on how much they threw in there, and they did a really good job making Samuel L. Jackson look younger in that movie.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty good. Oh, dang it, guys! I apologize. I forgot to do something. Uno momento, por favor. Take the reins.
Yes. I'm kind of interested in if that was a program that they actually put up for him to make him look younger.
Well, they've got the FBI's been doing it for years. They got things that you can, the aging stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To see how young how this kid would look and yadas and blahs, and they've had that for quite a while. It's just kind of the same thing in reverse. What my thought process would say on that. And so, yeah. By the way, I'm back. I forgot to throw up the chat wonders for the for the video aspect of it. So if you guys would like to, call in, the phone lines are open. Is that even on there? It's not on there.
Mm-mm.
I wonder if I can add it.
Is that it there, or is that the old one?
Oh, that's the new number. But I mean, like up in that, this
up in the
corner, way
corner.
the heck over here. You got to point up now.
No, it's like right here.
Yeah, that's where it usually goes. But I apparently don't have it added. I don't know if it'll let me do it. Let's see if it's in here. Yeah, see that number right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's the number. So if you guys want to call and be part of the madness, that telephone number is 217-965-6133. Is that it? Yeah, 965-6133. Yeah, that is the number if you guys would like to call, be part of the show. And I have an apology for, Mr. Canyon. He tuned in yesterday, and apparently either I didn't hear it ring or it rung like right after we got done doing the show.
Oh.
He was watching delayed on YouTube. Evidently there was quite a bit of delay on the stinking thing. And whenever he tried calling, it was like afterwards. So my apologies to you, sir. I did get the message. He left the message on there too. It's pretty funny. But yeah, so telephone number 217-965-6133 if you want to call and be part of the show. We are discussing Marvel, Captain, that is. And so yeah, I thought it was hilarious. I mean, there was so much humor they threw into it, and it was like there was several times that I had to pause the movie and rewind it, one, so I can laugh my butt off again, and because I figured I might have missed something while I was rolling on the floor laughing hysterically. And, oh yeah, chat windows are open once I get that window back up on top again. So if you guys would like to chit-chat in there as well. And so, yeah, but good times, though,
Oh, yeah. I think out of all the Marvel movies, that's ranked up there as one of my number one favorites.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. It ranks up there. It ranks up there. I thought it was neat. You see how, and by the way, guys, spoiler alerts.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't clear from the title, spoiler alerts. So yeah, just beware. Now you know. But yeah, so you get to see Fury with both of his eyeballs until the end, and you find out how he ended up losing an eye,
which is hilarious in itself.
which is very hilarious. I mean, dude, it was like whenever the guy was like, "Oh, this is a such and such a creature," and the threat is high, and I'm like, "It's a freaking cat." I mean, what the heck? I mean, why are you guys freaking out about a cat? Now, I mean, granted, it was like, okay, this cat is showing up way too much for it to just be a cat. I mean, I knew something was up, but it wasn't what I thought it was at all. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I just figured it was one of the bad dudes, which ended up being a good dude. That's just kind of what I figured. Or like it was one of their pets or something like that. That's what I was thinking. It definitely wasn't what I was thinking, though. It ended up being something totally different. So, but yeah, I knew it had to have been something. It's like, this thing is just, it's in the whole movie is got something to do with it. I need to pay attention to what this thing does, So, yeah, it was like, yeah, that's cool. It's like when that thing opened up his mouth and it's like he got octopus tentacles coming out. And I'm just like, huh, that's interesting. That's new. How did, and then it was like, rewatching it again. I'm like, was she talking to the cat or was she talking to Nick? And it's like, oh, no. She was talking to Nick. Okay. But yeah, the cat ended up taking the initiative. Play on words there, I'm like, yeah, that was hilarious. They did a good job with it. They really did.
Yeah, and it kind of because I had already known about the cat, or as they call it, he's called Goose.
Right.
That he wasn't a normal cat, but I that was one of the things I was always looking for him. He was always at the right place at the right time, and there were some scenes where he was actually showing some intelligence. Where there were some big clues there that he was not a normal cat.
Right. Right. And it was interesting too. And I didn't catch this the first time I watched it, but whenever he's like, like attack the bad guys, and he didn't, and then he, Fury, drops the cat, and the cat goes up and is like rubs on his legs, like pick a side, man,
Yeah.
But it's like I didn't realize whenever I seen that. It's like granted because like right afterwards he's like like back in wherever and like letting him know that no he's so and so the guy
You're
the
right.
shape shifting guy. So it was like I didn't quite pick up on that the first time I seen it, but the second time it was like it dawned on me, oh, so that's why the cat didn't attack because but I didn't I didn't pick up on that the first time around. It didn't it didn't click in there so. But yeah, it's definitely not a normal cat at all. What are you doing, dude? Yeah, I'm talking to you.
He's gonna push your stuff off the.
I know
off the
he's
desk.
already pushed my cup. He pushed this off yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah, he's being a turd. He really is.
He's scanning around. He's like, what can I find to push
What
off?
can I find to push off, and how can I mess up stuff? And he's going to roll up on my recorder now. Look at it. Look, see, there he goes. See, I'm telling you, man, little dude's a turd. So, but yeah, I mean, they and who's his face? What's the guy's name? The guy that plays, Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah, the guy from Agents of Shield, and the guy that did the thing where he was supposed to die but he wasn't dead. The guy, the one who the guy first imitated.
I know.
him.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember
he's
his
one
name
of
or
the
not.
main. I think from the series, he's one of the main characters.
Yeah, he's he's the guy, the Shield agent and
Yeah.
members Agents of Shield,
Shield,
and then the other one that they did, the whatever it was.
Yeah.
The Humi Jiggers of Shield, and then the What's His Nuts of Shield, and so. But yeah, I thought it was cool how you're seeing him basically as a newbie, a rookie,
Yes.
and there's already that bond forming really early between him and Fury.
Right.
I thought that was pretty cool how they threw that in there, and it was like, okay, so there is some history between these guys,
Mm-hmm.
and you picked up on this and you seen it and recognized it way before I did. I basically had to get told, because in Infinity War, I didn't remember about the pager.
Mm-hmm.
And you picked up on it like
Yeah,
that.
and you're like, there's the pager.
Right. And I was like, because somebody told me about the pager, my boss, he told me about the pager, and I was like, I go, I go, so basically what you're telling me is I got to watch Captain Marvel before I watch Endgame. And he's like, I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but yes. Well, tell me how to live my life, so it was good times on that, so I did. That's why I ended up watching the movie. I'm like, Endgame, it's like I want to be watching that as soon as that puppy comes out, and it was like, I got to wait, because I got to watch this first. And it was well worth it. It was well worth it. It's worth buying.
Oh,
And I don't do that often for movies anymore. I'll rent it, and then because, normally I only watch a movie like maybe 2 or 3 times, and that's kind of the extent of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like Vudu. Not a sponsor. I kind of dig Vudu because you can just like rent it. It's like Family Video, Blockbuster, red tag tape place, red box. It's kind
Redbox.
of like them guys, red tape, black. What?
I knew you were going to get there with box here shortly.
Yeah,
you were going
I
through
mean,
the different words, and it's like
yeah,
box
I
is
was-
going to come out next.
I was getting there. I was just, I was working on it. It's sometimes the mind takes some time to catch up, or the mouth takes some time to catch up to the brain. Something like that. I don't know. So yeah,
Yeah, so definitely Captain Marvel. If you're going to watch the entire Marvel saga, Captain Marvel would be where you would start first, because there's a lot of backstory. Because
You
it
know,
takes place in the past.
right, right. But I mean, even still, though, the first Captain, Captain America, the first Avenger, which is actually kind of weird because they actually kind of screwed that up, kind of, sort of. Because technically, if you want to look at it from a certain point of view, the first Avenger was Captain Marvel. However, chronologically speaking, Captain America was the first guy.
Right, because he was still here on Earth. Captain
Mm-hmm.
Marvel was gone for quite some time.
But I mean, this one takes place, basically in 1980s, and Captain America was way back when, like in the 60s or
Yeah, during
40s
one
or
of the world
something. Yeah,
wars.
World War II, I guess. So,
Yeah, I think it was 2.
so like 1940s is whenever, Captain America takes place, which is kind of weird too because it's like, okay, the Tesseract, which is where this technology came from. So that means the Tesseract wasn't basically there until after 1988, until, well, no, 1996 or 95 or whatever.
Somewhere around 95.
Right, yeah. So it's like, okay, so if the Tesseract beforehand was on that orbiting ship, then how was it used in, Captain America with some of that stuff that was going on? Or was that like after the 80s? Well, that was whenever he only had one eye. That was whenever he only had one eye.
It had to have been
Okay,
later
so,
on.
yeah, it had to have been
because
later on.
Captain America was frozen for a little bit.
Well, yeah, he was frozen for like 30 or 40 or 50 years or something.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. So I guess it's possible. We'll go with that. Because I was kind of like, I was confused on the timeline, because I was like the Tesseract. Okay, well, and then it's like, okay, so how did Zeus get it?
Loki or Thor?
Either, I guess. I don't know. How did them guys get it beforehand? If if Marvel had it, it's like there's kind of fishiness going on. I need to rewatch some of these and like, okay, we got to get some timeline stuff going on because these are the type of things that bug me. Timeline stuff. It's like you got to pay attention to the timeline. That's kind of one of my problems with Back to the Future. Because it's like in that movie in part 2 when he goes back in time and then he gives the magazine to young him, that right there caused an alternate timeline, and of which case, how can he go to the future of the old timeline after he had already altered the timeline? You can't do that. So it's like, that was one of my problems, the time travel crap. That was my issue. And yeah, I said issue with that movie. Do you have any similar issue with that movie because of that?
Which one?
Like you guys are screwing up on time travel here. Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that because they kind of explain that in Endgame about creating alternate timelines, and it would have been a different timeline. That they would have went down of. They wouldn't be on the original.
Yeah, exactly, because that's the thing. And like once something has happened, it has happened.
Right.
But it creates an alternate. I don't want to necessarily say an alternate universe, but an alternate timeline, kind of alternate. But both are still existing side by side, kind of a parallel universe, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still kind of like time travel's weird stuff, man. It's just like it's so complicated. I still want to know if that paradox is true, though. If you touch yourself.
From Time Cop?
Yeah.
The Divinals song kicked on in my head. When you
The
said
what?
the song from the Divinals, I Touch Myself.
I know that's the same
When
thing
you
that went
said
through
that,
my
it's
head
like
too.
the music kicked on in my head.
Anybody else? When I think about you, I touch myself. I know that's exactly what went on. That's why the pause was there. But anyway. So yeah, I mean, there's one of them issues with that, But I tell you what, though, until I was very unfamiliar with Captain Marvel prior to watching the movie because I really didn't, I mean, there were some Marvel characters that I knew, but Captain Marvel was one that I never got into, never heard anything about, didn't have any friends that really did either. So she was a complete unknown to me, very much of a stop, rewind, play. Very much of a complete unknown to me. I did good the second time around. That was good, right? So, but she is, like, holy crap. Like what I told Luna back there, it was like, dude, she's more powerful than Thor could even dream of being.
Oh yeah.
I was like, dude, she is badass. And you were like, oh yeah, because apparently
I know a little bit because I never really got into Captain Marvel, but I had just a little bit of information that I knew about her.
Right.
So.
And you said something that I was completely unaware of, that she is actually more stronger than
Superman.
Yeah.
She could kill Superman.
Yeah, and I was just like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, how can you kill Superman? You can't. Nobody can kill Superman except Batman. But that was a fluke, man. He had help. He had kryptonite. I'm telling you, it's like how, yeah, she can fly. She doesn't need the mask whenever she's in outer space. You come to find that out at the end of it. It's like, dude, she is bad.
Oh yeah.
She is bad, bad, bad to the bone. Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed with the movie though, dude. I mean, so much humor they threw into it, so much comedy. I liked how they tied, the hairball at the end was absolutely hilarious. Because after that first cut scene, I'm like, all right. It's like this was kind of before the credits. Before the black credits, the scrolling credits. This was before the scrolling credits. I'm like, all right, this is Marvel. There's going to be a little something, something at the end. So I'm like, fast forward, found it. And then you got, Cat jumps on Fury's table, hairball. And I'm like, that's funny. But I like how they threw in, like how they definitely tied it into, Endgame with like, Captain Marvel will be back during Endgame. I'm like, that's pretty cool how they threw that in there and tied everything together. So
yeah.
I'm very anxious to see Endgame now on how they do, how they do all that. What was some of your favorite parts in Captain Marvel?
Well, one of my favorite parts, and I started thinking about this later on through the movie, because, of course, Stan Lee made a cameo in it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that. Captain Marvel came out before Endgame. So, yes, he would have had his scenes shot for both of those.
Yeah.
Endgame was the last movie for a cameo of Stan Lee.
Okay. Yeah, because I seen that, and I was like, I was curious. I'm like, because, I like how they did... the whole, which of course, they didn't get done with production of that movie until after he had passed away. But, it was a definite, the very beginning of it was a definite tribute to Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Just all kinds of different things that he had done, a lot of his different appearances that he had done in other Marvel movies, So, it was a definite tribute to Stan Lee. And I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yes.
I thought that was very, very cool. I'm actually kind of curious to see if they more or less do the same thing in Endgame, and since it was the last movie that he was actually in, I'm sure that they're going to do something maybe even bigger than what they did in Captain Marvel.
I think Endgame, from what I remember, most of the entire movie is almost a giant tribute to him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, I was, super satisfied, just super pleased with it. So, did you answer that whole what was your favorite part of the movie?
I said that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Was the Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah. And I like the interaction between, him and Captain Marvel because, she gets up on that train and of course she's looking for the dude. What's his name? Jor-El? His name's Jor-El. Jor-El.
I thought it started with a T.
I think so. Tommy or Timmy or Timmy or something like that. We'll just call him Jor-El because that's Superman's dad's name, and that's just cool. Just anyway. So, once you push that bottle off that desk, I seen where you were going.
He's looking right at it. He's like, there needs to be space here.
There needs to be space. But anyway, he's, and I didn't realize this. You're making me nervous, man. You're making me nervous. But I didn't realize this the first time I watched it. He's like reading from the Mallrats script. It's like, I'm like, dude, is he reading Mallrats? I'm like, isn't that what that said?
Uh-huh.
It's like, I mean, that's like, Kevin Smith and Stan Lee is like, what?
Well, like Kevin Smith was a huge fan of Marvel and a huge fan of Stan Lee, and I think that was kind of like a little shout out to Kevin Smith. With him doing that
I didn't know that about those two.
Yeah, because I knew they were big like that, and I didn't catch it until you said something about he's reading a script from Mallrats, and I started listening. I'm like, oh my god, it is.
Yeah, I mean, the first time seeing it, I was like, it just went, didn't even look at it, But then, whenever she puts her hand up to it to push the corner down, or to see who it is, it was like, I think says Mallrats. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, I was totally confused. I'm like, dude, Kevin Smith, Mallrats, and then Stan Lee. Marv was like, what in the world is going on here? They're like mixing stuff, and they're making connections, and what is going on? I was so confused. But yeah, just that whole, that the smile, the look between both of them, that was really cool. It's just like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing there, and then just keeps on going, and then the old woman.
And that was one of my favorite scenes too, because there were some things going on in there, and I'm like, why? What?
Yeah, I mean, you're like so confused because like I didn't, and obviously because she locked eyes with the chick and bumped into her as she was getting onto onto the train, so she recognized, which is why she was like, yeah, I know who you are, and that's. But like if I was, the first time watching it, it really didn't click until kind of after the fact, and then you just got the butt whooping going on, and everybody's reaction to that was just like, oh,
yeah, because they see this young woman beating up on this 80-some-year-old woman
for no reason.
I mean, now there's some cues that should have been going on that. Like if I was on that train and be like, no, I'm just going to let these two go at it, because I mean, this young woman hauls off and belts this 85-year-old lady, and she don't even bat an eye.
She's just like,
she just kind of looks at her and then hits her and knocks her back, and then this 85-year-old lady's like doing flips and stuff, and they're trying to hold Captain Marvel back. The good citizens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you not see what this old lady's doing?
It's like, dude, this old lady's doing flips and jumps and tricks and shit, and it's like, what? I mean, at the very minimum, you should be like, I'm just going to stay out of this.
Some intergalactic stuff going on here. I'm going to let them deal.
I don't know what the heck's going on, but I don't think I want anything to do with it, because she just hauled off and hit this old woman, and this old woman just like is wow. Yeah. Well, hello, Vac. Who's Vac?
That's probably my oldest.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he's like working over there with me now.
Yeah.
I thought that
I was going to send you a message to let you know, and I forgot about it. And then you had called Renita and said something. She goes, guess who I saw today? And she's like, oh, you saw Colton.
Yeah, I was like, I showed up, and like here he is walking in, like, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes till 7. I'm like, what the heck are you doing here? Kind of a thing. I'm like, what's going on? He follows the boss into the office, like, filling out the application. I'm like, cool. And then I seen him later on that day, or I seen him the next day, because I wasn't around very much that day. And I seen him the next day, and I'm like, oh, you're working here. That's cool. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, when did you start? He goes, yesterday. I'm like, well, kick ass. That's awesome. I thought that was pretty cool. I was flabbergasted.
Mm-hmm.
My gasted had been flabbered.
Flabbered. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What movie did that come from?
Flabbergasted?
Well, my gasted had definitely been flabbered.
I have no clue.
That was something recent that I heard somewhere from something that I was watching. Big surprise there. Anyway. Yeah, so hello, sir, over there in YouTube land. Hello. So, yeah, that was definitely hilarious. That fight scene between those two, and I tell you what, man, watching that movie, there was some definite fishiness that was going on from the very beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. Because it's like her ability didn't even match, because hers being from the inside, and then everybody else, their stuff is from a weapon that they have. It's not something part of them. So it's like, okay, some craziness going on. And it's like, okay, so what's going on here? But I was still surprised to find out that the people who you thought were the good guys were actually the bad guys.
Yeah.
I was like,
Made for a nice little twist.
Oh, yeah. and I mean, I can't say as if it was, I didn't see it coming at all. I mean, it was still like okay, that makes some things make a little bit more sense now, but it wasn't like, Sixth Sense, like, going on, I mean, that was like floored whenever I seen that, but this one, I mean, it definitely was like, oh, that's okay. Some things are starting to kind of fall into place. Now I'm understanding some things a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, it was like, that's still kind of a surprise. I didn't really see that one coming. Not surprised, but I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat. And it, definitely made some things click. I thought that was pretty cool. And dude, whenever she, took the thing off,
where she was unrestricted.
That was so cool. It's like, how in the world did they pull that off? How did they? How did that little device limit her power to where it made her to where she was, basically, impotent, fighting with one arm behind her back? That was like, how did that even do that?
I know, and like you were saying, there were some fishy things going on, and it's like I already knew her full potential, but seeing her like that, it's like, something's not quite right. And they kept saying, we gave you this power, and I had some insight on that too, and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't quite jive with what I know, So, and then I'll be honest, I would have reacted the same way when she took the restrictor off, because she was having fun with it, learning all her new abilities and powers. She was having a blast.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a definite, like, holy crap. I mean, she's just finding out what she can do and just learning her powers more or less all over again, like really learning her powers unrestricted. And it's like, that's awesome. I mean, I was like, wow, she is tough. Man, she's tough. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And dude, just an awesome cast in this movie too. Jude Law. Yeah, I mean, I like him actually, because the first thing I seen him in, if I'm not mistaken, was, or at least the first thing that I recognized seeing him in was with, Tommy Lee Jones in, Sherlock Holmes,
Trying to keep my mind from exploding. And like, no.
It's like, no, that's not. Mr. Kuntz over there in YouTube land. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Okay, so what was that? What was the guy's name?
Jude Law?
No, not Jude Law. The guy that,
You gotta give me more information.
I can't even think of. Iron Man.
Oh, Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, him, because he's the one that played Sherlock in the movie Sherlock. And yeah, so I mean, that was the first thing that I really seen him in. He's been in other things that I've seen him. Other things I've seen him in. He's been in other movies since then that I've recognized him in, but I got eyeball issues today for some reason. I don't know.
In Sherlock Holmes, did he play Moriarty?
No, Jude Law played Watson.
Okay. It may have been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, because there was the first one and second one. And I actually, dude, with Sherlock, I'm a fan of the series with Cumberbatch and, Bilbo Baggins. I'm young Bilbo Baggins, not old Bilbo Baggins, young Bilbo Baggins. Yeah, I'm actually a fan of that Sherlock, because Cumberbatch, stop, rewind, play. Cumberbatch, it's really hard to say, his name. Cumberbatch is he does a very good job with that role. I was very impressed with his take on that role. Very impressed with it. Of course, I like Bilbo Baggins's, take on Watson. That was just an amazing series. Have you seen that series?
I don't think I've seen it.
Dude, you need to check out that series.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, they did a good job with it. It's on Netflix, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out then.
Is it on Netflix? Yeah, we'll go with that. It's on Netflix. Yeah. Yeah, but Bilbo. I can't. Dang it! I can't say his name.
Bilbo Baggins.
That was kind of loud.
It was.
Yeah, I was not expecting that to be that loud.
That was loud too. And you choked.
I was doing that on purpose, and I still choked. Erminger. I need to get a sippy cup. I've decided that already. It's like I need a sippy. Can you imagine me going into work with a sippy cup? My boss's reaction would be like, "That's fitting."
We've been waiting, ho ho, for you to do this.
It's about time you own up to you needing a sippy cup. But yeah, there's definitely several people I work with would be like, yeah. I've also decided that, what? Ray, that's ridiculous. He goes, how about AOC as Captain Marvel? Yeah, no.
No.
No. No. You just ruined Captain Marvel for everybody now. Thank you. Good job. Yeah.
If AOC was supposed to be a superhero or a villain, she would be on the DC side.
Right. Like Catwoman or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she seems to be stupid enough for it. She needs 9 lives to figure things out. I mean, otherwise, she just... Oh, boy. No. Oh, Captain, you like her as Catwoman? I think she could pull it off. I think she could pull off a Catwoman,
Oh, I don't know.
Bad thoughts. It's just... No. So, yeah. Well, huh?
Well, I was going to say, one of the things I'm kind of wondering about, I haven't looked into yet, because I know they're like pulling all the Marvel Universe together, is I don't know. There were talks of doing a sequel, Captain Marvel 2.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's still in the lead or not. Because I know there's going to be Black Panther 2, there'll be Doctor Strange 2. Mm-hmm. Both of those I'm really looking forward to.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to, another Doctor Strange. Because, I mean, again, Benedict Cumberbatch did a very good job with that role, too. And I thought that was so hilarious, in Infinity War, he's like, I'm Doctor Strange. Oh, we're using superhero names. Okay, I'm Spider-Man. He's just like...
Yeah, I know. He was like, just
it's like,
no.
I am not impressed, I thought that was hilarious.
And the funny thing is no, that's just his real last name, and he's a doctor as a profession. He was just introducing himself.
Mm-hmm. It's like, we're using superhero names. Okay, yeah, all right, I'm Spider-Man. I have yet to see Homecoming, actually. I've yet to see that one. Because his first appearance... at least as Spider-Man was in, Infinity War. Mm-hmm. But I've yet to see, Homecoming, which was his solo movie. I've yet to see that one.
That's the one that Iron Man was in. Yeah, I've seen that one.
That's where he gets his Spidey suit.
And that one's actually really good too.
I've heard that, but I haven't seen it yet. So. No spoilers at this time.
I won't spoil it for you.
Okay, I'd have to.
I think out of all the Marvel movies, the only one I got left to get caught up on is Ant-Man and Wasp.
I've yet
to see.
That's
the only one I haven't seen yet.
I've not seen either one of the Ant-Man movies. I've not seen Ant-Man, and I've not seen Ant-Man and Wasp.
I'm going to say, I know Ant-Man's got some comedy in it. It's got a decent amount of comedy.
Yeah, and that one's on Netflix, too. So, I mean, but they don't have the first one on there. It's like, what in the world? It's like... Come on, you can't do that, man. You can't treat me like that. Okay, so, the defend, there's 2 and put them both on there.
Right.
If y'all's are watching, Mr. Netflix people, I'm talking to you.
Netflix has a bad habit of doing that, especially like if you get into a series, they'll have like a couple, and then they don't have the rest of them.
I haven't really noticed that so much with them because I mean, there's so many different ones that they do. Like you look at. One of my favorite series, NCIS, they got all of those up until like the last season, which case you got to wait until the next season comes out before they'll put that one on there. I mean, I had issues with that with Hulu, but they would throw like just flat, like a butt ton of episodes out of the entire season. You go and watch the season, you're only able to watch like half of it on Hulu, and it's like,
I think with Netflix it's mostly anime that they do that with. Because like I'm really big into watching Attack on Titan right now.
Right.
I'm a huge fan of it.
I don't know who that is.
Real good.
There's only a couple animes I can actually watch in stomach, and one of them is what the heck is that one? Ray says, "I want Deadpool 3." Are they making a Deadpool 3? I mean, I'm sure they are, but you know, any word on a release on that one? I haven't heard anything about it.
I think the next one, it wasn't necessarily a Deadpool movie, but he was going to be in it.
Yeah. That was like a Titan X, I think, is what it was.
Yeah.
You know, the young mutants, and he's kind of like he's the Wolverine of the younger mutants.
And I think they were going to do that one, and then after that, they were going to do Deadpool 3.
Okay,
that was the last I had heard.
Yeah, because I had heard they were going to have him in Titan X.
Yeah,
you know, kind of bringing him into the, X-Men universe. And I've also heard actually that they're going to be combining the X-Men universe along and joining them in with the rest of the Marvel universe, which
that was the plan, but I don't know how they're going to do it.
I have no idea how they were going. I mean, like if they were to do it, it would be a Deadpool type of Deadpool type of thing. You know, my assumption anyway.
Yeah, because I know I definitely want to see some more Cable. Cable and Deadpool 2.
I've not seen Deadpool 2.
Oh, my word.
I've not seen
Cable. Because I was a huge fan of Cable. Is another one of my favorite heroes. And to watch him and Deadpool constantly rip on each other was hilarious. Oh, and they do it in the movie, too.
And they're in, you know, that one's in HBO. And I've got HBO, and that, you know, Deadpool 2 is in it. But, you know, I've yet to take the plunge. I've yet to do it, you know. Yet to do it. But yeah, I don't know how they're going to combine. You know, that was kind of one of my thoughts, and a buddy of mine, you know, they kind of had the same thought with, you know, using Deadpool as the, you know, the glue to bind them both together type of a thing. But I don't know, you know, if they're going to do it, how they're going to do it. Because right now I'm like, now, was that something that even really happened in the comic books? You know, the combination of the two universes.
The two universes, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of either. But then again, I mean, I'm not, you know, I never was real big into the comic book thing. But, you know, cartoon-wise is kind of how I learned as much as I did about, you know, the X-Men. And I had some video games, you know.
I know there was talk of pulling Deadpool into, like, the Avengers universe for the simple fact that there's numerous crossovers between Deadpool and Spidey.
Yeah.
And they said that'll be a real easy to pull him in that direction. But they said as far as the X-Men universe goes, a lot of fans are like, I don't know how they would do it.
Right.
You know.
And that would almost be, I mean, come on, dude. I mean, you think about the actors that make up both X-Men and, you know, just Marvel. You know, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, you know, Wakanda Forever. You know, you just all them guys. You know, I've yet to see that one too. Actually,
Black Panther.
I know I've yet to see that one, and I've heard good things about it. Just I've yet to see it. But
the guy that plays Smeagol off Lord of the Rings, he's in Black Panther, the first one.
Really?
Yeah. You probably won't recognize him because he really beefed up for that movie.
I mean, he'd be like a skinny little, you know, my precious.
No, he's actually a beefy guy. No, but you can tell it. You can tell it's him. You can recognize him if you know what his actual face looks like.
Honestly, man, I mean, anytime I ever seen
and
him,
his voice, you may be able to catch some of his voice.
I don't know, man. I mean, because the only thing I really remember about him from, like, you know, because there wasn't a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I had watched on that one, you know. And the stuff that I remember was basically him in a green suit.
Yeah.
You know, and of which case he's always crouching and moving around, and you don't see his face. You know, at least I don't remember seeing it at all. And outside of, you know, like, my precious, you know, it's like I don't have any idea what his voice sounds like. I don't know. You know, that was, you know, I'm clueless. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. Dude, it wasn't until recently until I figured out that, you know, the guy that played Cregan from Highlander was the same guy that was in Flash, that played the military guy, the Krog. You know, took control of mentally in the Flash series on Netflix. That was a while before I realized, you know, before it was like, now I know where I recognize him from, because I went back and I watched Highlander, you know, because whenever I first started doing the movie review, I watched, you know, that was what I did it on, you know, and so, you know, it was like, that's who that is, you know. I mean, it was like, holy crap, you know, I had no clue that's who that guy was. Yeah, but neat stuff. So, got anything else to add on that whole, you know,
Captain Marvel
thing? Yeah, Captain Marvel, X-Men universe thing, you know.
I don't know. Highly 2 thumbs up for Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah,
recommend it.
Absolutely. Ho Ho and Matt gives it 2 thumbs up. Yeah, so what have you heard anything on, you know, anything coming out of DC? You know, what month are we in? Where's my notebook?
We just entered into July. This is July 1st.
Yeah. Oh, this was supposed to be war movies.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
This month.
Yeah. We might do that next week. We can do war movies next month.
As far as DC goes, let's see. Joker with Joaquin Phoenix is coming out. I can't remember which one. Oh, you'll have Birds of Prey. Is supposed to be another one, which will be Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy. You'll have the Suicide Squad.
Right, yeah.
Which that one I'm totally upset on because they're like rebooting it.
Ray puts in here, need a cameo in the next movie with President Trump in it. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. Heck, Michelle Obama did quite a few different cameos in movies, you know.
Yeah.
What was one of them that I seen that she was, I don't remember what movie that was. I have no idea what movie that was. Or was it a TV series? You know what? I got no idea. I know Michelle Obama's done some, you know, cameos in movies. You know, she's done that. Dude, I think President Trump should definitely do that. That'd be awesome. Need to see. He can do it. He'd be like, "You're fired," you know, or something, you know. Keep America great again. I think they should so use that as a slogan, you know, because, I mean, think about it. No more liberals can ever have a keg. Keep America great, KEG. They can never buy a keg again. That would be amazing. Pony keg, sure, but an actual keg, nah, nope. Can't do it. I think that'd be hilarious. She was in, yes, at the end of NCIS. Yeah. Yeah, that was, season 15, if I'm not mistaken, maybe? Or was it 14? 15 or 14. One of them with who's her face in it, the chick and the stuff, the blonde, you know, the you know, her. Yeah, she was in that one. Yeah. Yeah. I remember, Ray. I remember ish. I remember, I just don't remember which one it was, which episode it was, how far into it. But yeah, you're right though. She was in NCIS. So yeah, anything else to add to that? You know?
There was supposed to be another DC movie coming out, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called off the top of my head, but it'll star Harley Quinn and her breakaway from the Joker and her love interest with Poison Ivy. Because yeah, Harley and Poison Ivy were an item through quite a bit of a comic book series.
Let's get it on. Yeah. I know that they scrapped a lot of stuff whenever they, you know, with Suicide Squad. I mean, they just had like a couple bad decisions that they made. Suicide Squad doing that the way that they did, with all the crap of them, you know, getting rid of Jared Leto and with all that whole crap, you know, and then with what they did with Batman vs Superman, you know, the guy that played, you know, Justin Momoa playing, Superman, and taking him off with his lack of screen time in Avengers and
You mean Henry Cavill?
yeah, him. I knew you'd help me out with the name.
Yeah, cutting his screen time and
Yeah, I mean they ticked him off with
Yeah.
that. Man, they really ticked that. I don't blame him though. I mean, if he's Superman, he's supposed to be an Avenger, and yet all he gets is like what 15 minutes worth of screen time on there, and that's it. It's like what in the world? They bring him in at the tail end of the movie. What the heck, guys? So that's all we got, guys. So next week, join us. Jason Momoa was Aquaman. I know. It's just I had to throw a name in there because he's at least a DC character. I mean, at least I didn't use like Tommy Lee Jones or something.
Speaking of Momoa and Peter Dinklage, Momoa really wants the movie Twins. He wants it rebooted, and he wants him and Peter Dinklage to play in it. Remember the movie Twins? It starred Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they were supposed to be twins.
It's Peter Dinklage. Oh!
Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones.
That would be amazing.
It would be. Somebody brought it up on on Twitter. Kind of like a meme reference, and Jason Momoa was like, "No, this needs to happen." He's like, "I am down for this."
Dude, that would be epic. Oh my God. Vac says that would be great. Oh, that would be amazing.
Would be.
That took me way too long to figure out who Peter Dinklage was. I'm like, if he would have thrown out Tyrion Lannister, I always pay my debts. I mean, that would have caught on quick on that. But,
He got, I don't remember the actor's name, the one that played Robb Stark. He's up to become the next Bond, James Bond.
Oh, really? He would do good with that. Although, really, I think a guy who would do a little bit better with the role would be the guy. Wait, who did you say?
The guy that played Robb Stark.
Okay,
I don't
never mind.
remember
That's
his
who I was
name.
going to throw out there.
Yeah, I was going to say
because for some reason in my head I was picturing Jon Snow, and of which case that's not the same guy as Rob and John was played by two different people. Just in case you guys did not know that, different characters played those characters, or different people played those. Yeah. Well, because he's already kind of done, like agent type stuff already anyway, so that would that'd be pretty cool. That'd be neat to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll do pretty well in it.
That'd be neat to see. I think I'd like to see that. What would you guys like? Would you guys like to see that? I'm at least glad that they have whole silenced the idea of, not that I don't think that they would do the movie justice, but a white or a black version of Bond. I mean, come on. Will Smith played, who's his face in Wild Wild West.
Yeah. I can't remember that character's name, but
Adam West or Jim West? Jim West.
Jim West.
Yeah, Jim West. He played Jim West in Wild Wild West. Robert Pattinson is going to be Batman. I heard that, and you know what? I want ice cream. Dude, I want ice cream, too. That'd be amazing.
That actually sounds good.
It does sound good. I didn't buy any ice cream. We should get ice cream. But, yeah, Robert Pattinson. And I'm like, because that's actually the same guy that played is okay. Now I got it.
Robert Pattinson played on Twilight series.
Oh, yeah, Edward. Yeah. Okay, yeah. And actually the guy who they are kind of looking at doing the new Superman is the guy that I'm like, okay, look-wise, I'm like, yeah, he could do that. And I think it would actually be kind of neat to have Robert Pattinson as Batman and then this dude as Superman. Let me pull up the picture of the guy who, oh, holy crap, that kind of snuck out of nowhere. Whew, hello when that happens. All right, so Robert Pattinson. All right, first we'll pull him up.
I've been hearing
Images.
that, like, whatever Batman movie they're going to do, they're going to throw in a bunch of villains in the movie, and I'm hoping not, because that's way too many freaking storylines to be going on in one movie.
Right, kind of like what they did with throwing Poison Ivy, and the fridge meets or the freezer meets the Terminator.
Mr. Freeze, yeah.
That's basically what they told him the inspiration behind the character.
Really?
They were like, Terminator meets the Freezer. And he's like, what? It's like, how do I play the part?
Bane was in there too, wasn't he? I think Bane was in that one.
Yes, but...
So you had like 3 different storylines with them going on. Mm-hmm. And it was almost too much.
Yeah,
you know?
it was definitely a lot. Kind of like, everybody chill. Yeah. Bring back Arnold as Mr. Freeze. I don't know about that one. I mean, granted, I thought for the movie that he was in, he did a good job with it. Mm-hmm. It was just way too corny of a movie as it was. I mean, it was just...
Well, they kind of, for me, they ruined
nipples
Bane
on Batman. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just...
Schumacher, shame on you putting nips on Batman.
What in the world, dude? I mean, come on. All right, so what's that? Okay, white collar. Okay. Yeah, that guy. Him. Whatever the heck his name is. Come on. No, that's not what I want. I want images, you goober people. Images. Him. What's his name, though?
Is that who they're looking at playing the next
yeah,
Superman?
that's who they're one of the people that they have, Matt Bomer. Okay, so
he's got the look.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's got the look.
When I said it, I was like, yes.
Oh my God, that was amazing. Okay, so for those of you that are unaware, here is, come on, here we go. Here is, Edward, from Twilight series, Robert Pattinson. And here is the guy, this is Matt Bomer for, the one who they're having him, Ray says, oh, wow. The cheesy puns were great. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is a guy who they're thinking of doing, the next Superman. So, I mean, I think the dude's got the look. I mean, he may not necessarily, I mean, he's cut, but he's not real big.
They'll probably
built,
bulk him up a little bit, and that won't take too long.
No, I mean, look at what Christopher Reeves did.
Yeah.
So I mean, he really bulked up for the part. So I mean, I think he's got the look. I think he can pull it off. I really do. But yeah, I like him. I got a man crush on him. And then Kelly, she's in it too. From 90210. Yeah. She's just, I mean, look at that hair. There were, what?
I walk into this.
Exactly, you walk into this.
He's cheating on me.
Look at him.
Share.
There's something wrong with, I think, all of us, really. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, so. All right, but yeah, I think he should play it. I think he could, especially with, putting Pattinson in there, why not introduce 2 of them,
I know Pattinson's gotten a lot of flack for doing it. It's like, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Give him a shot and see what he can do.
That's what my thing is. I mean, all we've seen him in is basically in the Twilight series. I mean, it's that.
He's had some other movies, but I've never watched any of them.
I don't know.
Just because I never watched the Twilight series, but the previews I saw, I didn't think he was that good of an actor.
In all honesty, I liked. He says, "Oh wow, think it's ice cream time." Exactly. But I mean, in all honesty, take out Sparkling Vampire. And I really didn't. I wasn't real keen on what they did with werewolves. It's like, these aren't werewolves; these are shapeshifters. It's like, what in the world? That's kind of different. But all said and done, like, it wasn't bad. I mean, not horrible at any rate. I mean, maybe not great, but it wasn't bad, and it probably made a better book. Sparkling Vampires. I just. Pattinson had a few other movies that were pretty good. Really, I'm not okay.
Well, somebody had brought up, like, he played a psychopath or something in one movie.
Really?
Yeah, and they said he did a really good job in it. I mean, like the Twilight series, I think was like his first start.
You moved too suddenly. That's what that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so he was in Harry Potter 4?
Yes,
Really?
he dies.
Oh, yeah, he played the dude and the guy that was in the thing. Yeah, I forgot about that.
You know,
yeah.
You want to know how awful I was when I watched that?
Huh.
Because I didn't like him in Twilight so bad that when his character died in Harry Potter,
You
I
cheered.
laughed. I'm like, you died.
You're a horrible person. Okay, so Twilight books were way better than the movies. Not ashamed. Yeah. I mean, overall, I mean, they weren't bad. I mean, I just didn't like a couple aspects of what they did with it. But I mean, the storyline and everything else. I mean, it really wasn't bad. And
that's kind of the concept. Most of the time, the
do
books are
Robert
always
Pattinson.
going to be better than the movies.
Robert Pattinson. Okay, filmography.
Unless
Here
you
we
have a
go.
book that comes out after the movie.
The Stars at Noon. So yeah, there's actually quite a few things in here waiting for the Barbarians. What? Tenet? The Batman. The Batman 2021. There it is right there. He plays Bruce Wayne. And really, you want to steal my stuff? You want to steal my stuff? Remember Me, Twilight. Yeah, Twilight. The Curse of the Ring. The Ring. No.
He was in Curse of the Ring?
Curse of the Ring. Yeah.
Huh.
He played Geisler in 2004.
Huh. I did
He
not
played
know
Dirk
that.
Diggler. That's Cedric.
Cedric Diggory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, the name that I seen on there first was Dirk Diggler. I'm like, really? Huh? What? I was watching something. Oh my God! I was watching it. Do you remember Hollywood Squares?
Yes.
Okay. There's a clip. I can't play it because this thing will go copyright infringement like really quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The heck with it. You guys deserve this. I'm going to bring this up. Where's this at? It's in YouTube. Hollywood Squares. You fool! Okay, check this out. This is hilarious. I'm not going to play it just because, it's Shadow.
Fool! Having a child is correct, David.
Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Valerie going for a 5-square win here. Where you going?
Gilbert Godfrey for the
What a
win.
surprise. Okay. Gilbert, in a poll, 94% of Hungarians, compared to only 46% of Americans, said doing this was necessary to feel fulfilled. Doing what?
Having a child. I disagree.
You fool! Having a child is correct, David. Gilbert Godfrey. Gilbert Godfrey. When she heard that Phileas Fogg had done it in 80 days, journalist Nellie Bly beat him by doing it in 72 days. What did she do?
This is rowing the Atlantic.
I'm gonna agree. You fool! She went around the world.
Gilbert Godfrey is
70
savage.
days.
You
Its French designer named it the Atom because of its small size and the explosive effect a woman would have when she wore it. Today, it's better known as
The tube top. I agree.
You fool!
Penn and Teller.
What significance does 1908 have if you were a Chicago Cubs fan?
Would you quit playing with my hair?
It's the last perfect pitch game.
I'm gonna agree.
You fool.
Quit it.
Steve Austin. Steve Austin is a big bad professional wrestler, fully known as
The Crusher.
the Crusher.
I'll agree.
Fool. Okay, go.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, Officer Dave. Gilbert Godfrey for the win. Gilbert Godfrey for the win. By the way, if we run out of time during this or any other game, we're all going out for drinks. The word smog comes from what two words?
Smoke and fog.
Smoke and fog. I'm going to agree. Smoke and fog!
Finally.
Oh, wow.
So many.
He
You
had-
fool!
He had a lot of fun doing that.
That's an hilarious. It's hilarious. Okay, so now that we've got the copyright infringement out of the way, I was watching a bunch of Hollywood Square stuff. I don't know why. It just, sometimes I get in random kicks, when, Route 66 pops into my mind and, get your kicks at Route 66. Yeah, anyway. Hello, Big M Homestead. How you doing, sir, over there in YouTube land? Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. I had a hiccup burp, but only half of it came out. So, you fool, Ray puts in there. Yeah, that was a hilarious one. There was some other quite entertaining. I watched one with Robin Williams in it.
Mm-hmm.
That was entertaining. The Wayans brothers was in it. That was kind of entertaining. Yeah, that was good. But yeah, that was an underrated game show. It really was.
Yeah.
It was a funny one. Anyway, so now that we've went on that tangent, Captain Marvel. That movie was hilarious. That's all I got.
Yeah.
That's all you got?
Very good. Good storyline.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Kind of kept you on the edge of the seat the entire time.
Oh yeah. It says long hours living in my truck. Yep, 'tis the life. 'Tis the life. Yeah, yeah. We got our new trucks in. 2020 Freightliner Cascadias.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, I'm pulling 8 miles to the gallon right now. That's impressive.
I was just
For
saying,
a
I don't
semi.
for a
That's-
semi. I
yeah.
know nothing about gas
Yeah,
mileage.
for a
on 'em.
semi, that's pretty good. That's
Okay.
pretty good.
Not
I'm
bad.
like, Ray says, ice cream now.
I'm wanting ice cream.
I'm wanting ice cream. So what do you think? Like Tasty Treat,
Probably
Dairy Queen? I like Tasty Treat.
either one.
Because they got that lemon stuff at, Tasty
Tasty
Treat.
Treat, yeah.
That's just like nom 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 nom.
And it's like homemade ice cream too.
Good stuff. So we're not going. He goes, yep. You got 4 miles to the gallon. So
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So I'm getting twice as much
Okay.
mile a gallon as he is. I think our last truck's got, oh, but you can go 100. I can go 100 kilometers an hour. Actually, I can go 105 kilometers an hour because I go up to Ontario. In Ontario, they have you have to have your vehicle limited for a American truck to 65 mile an hour, which translates to like 104 kilometers an hour. So I mean, I can go 100. Yeah. But yeah, I think our other trucks got our 2013, I think. Big Cam Cummins KW 1995. That's what Mr. Big M Homestead's got. But I think our other one's got like 5.3 miles a gallon maybe, and I'm getting like 3 more miles a gallon than what that one was. So that's pretty cool, Well, gentlemen, and ladies, do 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 do. Do. Really? All right, guys. Y'all have wrong one. Y'all have yourself a wonderful evening, and we are out.
Yes.
Till next time.
Sounds like some really good villain music.
This?
It's the starting of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Take care, guys.